So that right there is the Galaxy Note 10 and Note 10 Plus, allegedly. This is before the actual event. So I want to give you my before event thoughts and my after the event thoughts. My initial impression is, why make two? Isn't the Note for like the extreme Samsung fan and they're like, I don't care how much it costs, just give it to me. Give me cutting edge technology, even if it's in beta. Give me this, give me that. I don't care how much it costs. That's sort of how it's always been treated, right? All the way back from the original Note up until around the Note 7, because that is kind of sort of when they started only making the same phone. And you saw it with the Note 8 in the Samsung S8, you saw it with the Note 9 and the S9, and now you're seeing it with the Note 10 and the S10 lineup. Really, I was always under the impression that the Note lineup is supposed to be the extreme lineup. It doesn't matter the cost. They just want the cutting edge technology, even if it's in beta. And I always thought that's sort of how they treated the Note. But now they're treating it like an S series phone. This is literally essentially just a tiny little refresh from the S series lineup, like the S10s. I guess just that phone right there doesn't make any sense to me to buy. Typically the best time to buy like the Galaxy S series phones is when the Note is released, and the best time to buy the Note is when the S series phones are released. So why make a second S10 Plus with a stylus? That seems to be the only thing they're doing. And that means that you should just buy the S10 Plus, because the Note 10 is going to be far more expensive than the S10 Plus is going to be. The Note 10 makes no sense. The Note 10 Plus, we'll have to see. But it's actually going to be time for the event in like a few minutes, so I'm going to get some food ready and then we can start watching it.
I don't think there's more than we can do. How come you think that I still owe you anything more than pain, more than the pouring rain? How can there be more to explain? No, I won't go down the drain, 'cause I was there too, always so true, always so blind. We were born restless minds.
So, for those who are shaping the future by reinventing the present, it is my pleasure to introduce the Galaxy Note 10.
Wow. The the Note 10, my bad. That was quite literally one of the most boring announcements, boring phone video. I don't even know what that was. That was quite literally the most boring phone announcement I've ever watched in my entire life. And honestly, the improvements to the phone are very minimal, and it's exactly what I thought. And guess I'm disappointed. I feel like I expect more from the Note lineup specifically, but I can't say I'm super surprised. Basically, the Note lineup used to be this phone that when it came out, it would kind of like shock the world. And it was like, oh my goodness, you could do that with a screen. You can do that with a camera. You can do that with a phone. You can do that with a pen. And every year since, I would say probably the Note 5 came out, maybe the Note 7, I've been pretty disappointed, because we've seen what the Note 9 and Note 10 and even the Note 8 were going to look like once Samsung released the S series. And I guess I'm still confused as to why they even release a Note phone every single year. Is it just to appease like the few people who are really diehard Note fans? Because objectively looking at the Note 10, it's a good phone, but compared to the S10 Plus, why would you buy the Note 10 other than the stylus? And obviously they try to make the stylus seem like it's this big grand thing, but coming from somebody who's owned a Note, I owned a Note 8 for like 3 months. The stylus, I hardly use it, and I don't miss not having it. To me, all the Note 10 proves is another reason why you should only be buying last year's model of the phone. The Note 9 is still an excellent phone with a lot of really, really powerful features, a lot of powerful specs, especially for a phone. Keep in mind, this isn't a desktop computer. This isn't even a laptop. It's a phone. So yeah, they say it's productivity and yada, yada, yada. The app support is so minimal, especially for like real productivity apps, that it doesn't matter if you have the most powerful phone in the world. It's all about the app support. And especially with Android and even iOS, it doesn't really matter how powerful your phone is because it's still running mobile applications. And I feel like what this is also showing is that the real innovations happen with the S series lineup release and not the Note series, which is weird because it used to be the other way around. But I feel like Samsung's like, okay, let's push the boundaries on our flagship models, and then we'll just sort of add a few extra things for the Note lineup. That doesn't mean that the Note 10's a bad phone. If you want one, go get it. But I would really, really suggest not purchasing it due to the fact that you're spending a pretty obscene amount of money for very, very limited performance gains over the Note 9. The S Pen is a little bit more usable, but keep in mind, it's like only usable if you have a tripod and if you have the phone set up in a specific spot. To me, that seems silly. Why wouldn't you just have somebody else take the picture or just take a selfie of yourself? It's definitely cool that they're advancing the S Pen and fitting all that stuff inside such a small form factor, but it's not really a usable feature. But that doesn't mean every new feature is bad. It just means it's typically unnecessary. I would say the only new features that I find relatively interesting is the ability to connect your text messages and your photos to a Windows computer, and then to be able to beam your Note 10 screen onto a computer. But that's silly. Why wouldn't you just use the computer as opposed to using the phone as the computer? If you're going to have the laptop, why even have that feature? I guess it's kind of cool, but in reality, it seems sort of just like, well, we can do this, so let's do it. But I guess that this is just sort of the trend that we've seen in smartphones, that no matter how good the next phone is, the last phone is just as good, if not sometimes in some cases better. But I guess I'm not sure who Samsung is targeting with these phones. It seems like they come out with the Note phone every year just to appease the few people that still like the Note lineup. But in reality, they're thinking at the back of their head, well, this is a great way for us to sell S10s and S10 Pluses because we can reduce those prices. Just my opinion, because basically what you're paying for is the pen and a slightly larger screen, but it's still a phone. Why act like 0.5 inches is a revolutionary thing? Who cares? You have less screen to body ratio. It's no big deal to me. And honestly, I think that you shouldn't buy the Note 10 and go for the Note 9. And I would say that I'm definitely a little bit more pro Apple, although I have used Android phones in the past and I've used Samsung phones in the past. I used to own a Note 8 and I used to own an S7 before that. I liked Samsung phones. But I think that what I'm finding recently is that it was kind of hard to come up with things to talk about in this video. It's so minor, all of the improvements with the Note 10, that I guess this is the age we're in right now, where the upgrades are minimal and it's all about how good the marketing is. So do pay attention to the marketing. And I do have something interesting regarding the marketing and the new phone. I'm going to ask my fiance, who is a tried and true Note user. She's been using her Note 8 for the last 2 years almost. Actually 2 years almost to the day. And I'm going to see what she thinks about the new Note 10. All right, so I'm here with my fiance. You want to introduce yourself? Okay, that's awkward. All right, so these are what I think the 5 main categories on what we need to discuss. So I'm gonna ask her, a Note 8 user, about all of these categories.
So I don't like the dot where the camera is, and I like that it's all screen.
So it doesn't have a headphone jack. So what are your thoughts on that?
Annoying.
Why?
Because I only use headphones with a headphone jack.
Interesting. A true Note user. So what are your thoughts on all the new colors?
I love the colors.
Why?
Because they have pink.
So on the Note 10, the non-plus version, they added an extra camera, and on the Note 10 Plus, they added 2 extra cameras. Does that mean anything to you?
No.
No. I didn't think it would.
Seems pretty pointless. Waste of money.
All right, waste of money.
Waste of upgrade. Give me a headphone jack.
And then the S Pen, when you're in camera mode, can sort of be like a wand type thing.
Oh my god, that's cool. I'm gonna do the Disney Channel.
No, not like that.
That's stupid.
Yeah, when would you ever use that?
I wouldn't.
So what are your thoughts on the Note 10?
Comes in pink. Definitely buy it.
So you have a Note 8 that you've had for 2 years.
Yes.
Is there any real reason to upgrade to the Note 10 from what you have?
The Note 10 comes in pink.
That's it?
The Note 8 is gray.
So basically what I heard there from what I would consider a pretty typical consumer is that the only difference that they can tell is the fact that there is a new color. So what do you guys think? Should you buy the Note 10? Should you not buy the Note 10? I'd love to know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. If you like this video and you want to help keep this channel sponsorship free, check out the Patreon link in the description down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.